average map to map at the end of the day to get halfway up this leaderboard. And right now that's holding true. A little over 8 points per game after 2 puts you in top 15. So this is the key point to remember. We will reiterate it over and over again. You're trying to get to top half. And as we get into the third map, we're going to head back to our map 2 winners to see what they can do well into second place, well into the top 5 rather, but very, very tight between second, third, and fourth. But again, whether you get first or whether you get 15th, you all make it to the finals in 2 weeks. That's all that matters. So if you're a team like Uncivil Queen in second place, now it's just about putting a couple points every map going forward, and you're going to be just fine.
Just like land like there or yeah, like there.
Into the team that always goes back 3 houses over there.
Yeah.
I love the initial comms of how they're already approaching it, talking about the teams that typically land in those buildings kind of outside of them. But they're immediately kind of going over farms, passing it even so. And the way they approach this is there's redeployed drones to be able to work for on the rotation out here. So as you split load, you can see you've got Jackal that's going to take these blue buildings just to the right. Uncivil Queen's going to stretch out a little bit further and hit this building.
Different team. Look at live ping.
Yeah, and I think the split here is smart, especially if you don't see a lot of teams close by. But when a team is called out, that's destroy landing here as well. You go flying at them, especially if you notice that it's only 1 flying in or 2 flying in. We've got the player advantage. We've got to push the encounter. Jackal has lost their life, and Joewo gets taken down as well. Finally able to answer back. Uncivil Queen getting a bit of revenge, able to take down 1. Sounds like there's more here, and it's not just Destroy by himself. Swinging left, right, and center. Uncivil Queen putting on a show for us. It almost goes massive, but unfortunately, finally gets cut down.
And all 3 of them will be going through the gulag, but at least they were able to pick up 2 eliminations onto Zlaner and co. Now, that's going to be tough, right? That's not how you want to start things off. But over at Cargo, Rated, Mayapo, and Otter Eyes have just found that steady state flow for their early games to kind of kick things off. But for Uncivil Queen finding themselves in the gulag against Maiden, well, Molotov going out, not necessarily going to connect, grabbing a little bit of cash and pushing the issue, catches the shield crack, but falls incredibly low themselves.
Oh, this is so close, and Uncivil Queen grabs a nice angle, and unfortunately, opponent swings around and probably grabs a couple headshots to finish off Uncivil Queen. Loses the gulag. Likely will get back into the map eventually. It's just going to take some time. But back on with OP Marked & Co. Was able to get added into this event near last minute and has done fairly well thus far. I believe technically within our top 15. Actually not too far behind. I believe 6th place overall right now after 30 points between 2. So far a solid showing. Looking for top 15. As long as they can keep up that consistency, they should be good to go for the finals in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Nice little 3-2-1 action, trying to go down on that team member right in front of them, but not able to manifest the knock, immediately setting their sights onto the player to their left inside that building. But with the TAC Eradicator only having 44 bullets left in this mag, we got to start looking for some ammo. And that's going to be on to Stuo that knock.
Big knock. Stuo, a trio. That Stuo team is one that I was calling out earlier that I thought really could have a good chance to do well today, playing with Serve and Patzuka. Stuo and Patzuka got 9th in London. Fantastic customs duo. See if they can continue to play with Serve and work on some chemistry there. Serve has played in several customs tournaments leading up to today, so I can only imagine they will. But speaking of a trio that has a lot of competitive experience, this is a new trio to the likes of Urzikstan as a team, but all 3 of these players well-seasoned veterans when it comes to customs and competition in Warzone. Braxton, DJ Moss, Super Evan. Some call it an unlikely trio, but this team has come together out of necessity because they're all slayers, they're all fantastic players, and coming together as a team could really be the recipe for success they're looking for to grab some more tournament wins. But back to the side of Zlaner, Destroy, and Raul. They are flying at every team they can get their hands on, as per usual.
And the bounty will be wiped. A full full team wipe onto Chronicle and Co. Thanks to that bounty there from.
Right there too. Ammo on this right.
And look at that, the vibe staying high. They've got ammo boxes. They've got more loot to carry on that momentum forward. But Raul already on 4 eliminations. This is another incredibly fast-paced game from Team Zlaner. Now, mind you, in map number 2, they did fall in 19th place, but not before picking up a ton of eliminations, netting them a 4th place position on that leaderboard coming into map number 3.
Yeah, and when you talk about this trio, they're such a fun team to watch, obviously because of the vibes, but when you think of Z and D and the long history that they have as a duo, obviously Clutch Belk used to be a part of this trio. They played together, kind of through some controversy with Clutch Belk and kind of the vibes of the team. They played together through London, ended up actually winning a map at London in the World Series of Warzone finals, but overall maybe slightly disappointing for the overall performance of the trio. And they wanted somebody that really matched the vibes, and Raul was just that. Raul and Destroy specifically play a lot in duos now, so watch out for that trio, a new trio kind of on the block, and I think they're going to be keeping Raul around for a long time. But the team at the top of the leaderboard, at least one's in the Gulag, rated slow playing this Gulag, kind of as per the usual. Usually Gulags come down to the first player to make a mistake, and Raid's going to make sure he's not the first to do that. Chasing down his opponent, unfortunately gets caught out in the open, chows it anyways, and wins it anyways. Right back into the map. Chrissy goes down.
Ooh, but we got a good look at their eliminations thus far, sitting on 6 and reuniting with the squad back in Urzikstan. But speaking of using those bounties for information, Team Swish'em is going to be doing the same thing here. And I believe that is a bounty onto Melvin. So that'll give a lot of information on the squad that they're going to be hunting here. But this is where a lot of the action that Swish'em gets into early on. They're talking through these rotations, playing that heavy edge, and immediately moving over to Bliss Kai team. Now, Bliss Kai, this is a squad that really needs to step up through maps 3, 4, and 5 to really get themselves into that top 15, but this has been really tough. Queen Biddy, Hero, already in the Gulag. Bliss Kai joining them as well because Melvin just got the best of them in that moment.
And as per the usual with Warzone Customs, should you be able to strike first and take down an opponent, usually that team just smells blood in the air and swarms like piranhas or sharks or anything in between. They just fly at teams to make sure that they capitalize on their player advantage, capitalize on it, and win because of it. Not as paramount now that flares are taken out and every other way to get back into the lobby, but there's still ways to get back. Buybacks, portable buys, etc. Take out your teams. Take the free kills when you can get them. Here's the other side of the fight we were just watching. Super Evan, Braxton, DJ Moss fighting Joff's team here. Joff now on main stage trying to answer back. Looks like they're able to do that. DJ Moss goes down, and all of a sudden, flank from behind. They've grabbed one. They lose one. But if they can cover here, they're going to be back at player advantage, especially if they can get a couple plates, and they should win it. But no, Grenade takes him back out in trouble. Somebody on the other side pushing the fight. That's likely Super Evan. And yes, Super Evan finally goes down, and they just barely keep Joff alive. What a massive win for this trio.
Wow. All right, Joff, content creator, competitor for Horizon Union, one of those first UK teams to grab a nuke recently, and this squad is absolutely throwing down today. The vibes are high. 3 eliminations just for Joff themselves, and looks like they've got kind of that scavenger contract highlighted. They want to kind of get their loot up.
Jaff's a fun player to talk about. Plays with the Sinful or Asyncs all the time. They compete together a ton. They've played recently more with PD and kind of been trading around for different thirds here and there, but this trio should go pretty far today. Likely will qualify, especially with a good game started. If they can keep up this pace in this map, this could be the map to do it, to push them inside, not even just the top 15 where they're already kind of hanging out, but even higher up to kind of mitigate so many other crazy RNGs that could happen in future maps. But wow, Pat Zuka just says, yeah, you can find out where my teammates are at. No problem. Good luck with that. Ready to able to grab the elimination and able to interrogate his opponent to try to grab some extra info. Doesn't seem that helpful, though.
Honestly, Raid's just really serious right now. Like he knows what is on the line. Obviously that top 15, and he's holding that top spot on the leaderboard. So with no avail and force and just these last couple matches to go, he is already more than likely going to qualify for the finals just based off the first 2 maps performance and how strongly they've already set things off. But they are kitted. No self-reses though, but you've got Mayapo and Co. They have that tempered advantage with those plateless and ins. Wait.
Raid's going to continue to fly around. And Tiff, I love that breakdown. They've got a nice little kill run going here. And you said Raided was kind of locked in, and I totally agree. But it's because they're able to just kind of play the playstyle that they want to. They don't have to play cautious. They're just flying at everything. So he's kind of just locked in, and excited to continue to watch what they do.
You want to back up on this?
For the rest of this map. But for the first kind of time on this map, we saw the other end of Scumman's POV getting taken down by Nate Dogg, but now Scumman on main stage with 4, playing back with Unrational yet again, and Donkey their third. This is a trio to look out for going forward in Urzikstan. They're going to be playing together more often, is what I understand. Donkey used to play with Vonbot last year, but kind of split this year, kind of trading teammates around as Huskerrs has moved on to Tommy and Z-Smith. Scumman is arguably one of the better players in Warzone's history in terms of earnings and in terms of efficacy on the map. So we'll see how they're able to do today. But life on the line. Zyro with the chance to continue to prove himself after a nice performance earlier. And they go back-to-back, and gonna have to go back-to-back against Savvy Ultra. A very tough fight, especially for Night Vision, but does grab the win just barely, Tiff.
Wow, getting that Gulag win onto Savvy Ultras, man. You just got to shake it out after that. But checking in to see kind of what is going on for Team Savvy Ultra as well. Zanks, he's able to grab that knock on to Zlaner. Freddy and Co. trying to navigate without Savvy. They do have the cash to get him back, and the mobile is down here. See if we're able to make that happen. Misses it on that first initial bout, and Destroy gets the trade onto Freddy. So a little bit of chaos, but Savvy is back in, ready to help out Zanks. We're able.
These are big team fights. Again, when you start thinking about the last couple maps and what we've seen and what we've learned from this tournament thus far with the format that we've put in place, these early to mid-game, now we're definitely in mid-game at this point, fights, these team fights are massive for the end of the game leaderboard. You have to have kills when you get to the final couple circles. You have to have some eliminations when you find yourself in the final fight to use those multipliers to make sure you're top 15. If you go into those final fights with only 1 to 2 to 3 kills, it's not going to be enough to push you inside the top 15. You've got to have your 3, 4, 5, 6 here in the mid-game so that you can then go set up for the end game as the circles begin to close, and you can go secure those good positions. If you wait until you have a lot of kills to start moving for the end game, it's too late. And if you go too early and have no kills, you went too early. There's a sweet spot you've got to find, and unfortunately, sometimes you're going to lose your life because you're looking for that sweet spot, and that's exactly what's happened here. So we swap over to Savvy Ultra's POV, in trouble as well, looking for any sort of reprieve and maybe just a couple plates from the buy station because they are totally out of resources.
Yeah, but he was able to get Zanks back into the lobby, and that is enough. Now, granted, we're just waiting to see what Freddy's going to be able to do inside that gulag, and if not, work towards the cash. But Pookie is down, and Pookie is out. Savvy here, former World Series of Warzone EU champion, looking to clean things up. But Zanks, also insanely talented, a pro COD player for Desire Esports, which is like an Italian org if you're not familiar with them. Played with Moonride back in that January 11th tournament, that Warzone bingo event where so many people were throwing teams. But with Freddy joining back up with the squad and Zanks trying to call out, it's going to be really tough to navigate, especially with Destroy and Co. still in the distance.
And again, as we tune over to Destroy's POV, he personally is on 6 eliminations. They have officially surpassed their placement from the last map. Here in the 4th circle, we're already down to 18 teams as the gulag begins to close. And yet again, this team is frying. We've got 12 people just spectating Destroy because they're excited to watch what he could do potentially. Maybe a bit of a stretch there, but they are frying out. And maybe some people figuring out, oh, this is how this trio's playing? Maybe we should be doing the same. They are flying at teams and getting several eliminations along the way because of it. Very, very well done already from this trio in this map. So certainly keep them inside the top 5, if not push them inside the top 3, as they're only a point or so behind 3rd place right before this one.
I'm looking. I'm watching under. Oh, yep, under. Riding up the stairs on me. Right here, live.
Ratting up the stairs on me, hits for maybe 1 plate, and completely gets that knock to come through. Doesn't care about the fall damage here, just wants to fin that kill and a nice bit of nade spam. But from Raul's POV, the visual clutter is crazy.
My guy's gotta have bomb squad on. That dude just ran through a grenade and just kept moving. So many smokes, so many grenades, somehow still alive, and they're all just flying at this team. They have player advantage. They know they can win. They're going to capitalize on it. There goes FaZe Testy out of here. They look for the third. The final rat, as Destroy would call them, has scurried away through the sewers potentially. But with a ping on the radar, they might know where they could be. Far left-hand side, potentially around that vehicle. But Destroy says, hey, I've got durable gas mask. I am not even kind of worried about this zone. He's going to play for height here and play edge.
Call like you have, and then we can see if we need to hit the balloon, but I don't know if we need to.
I just saw a kid to your bottom right, D. Look at that.
Yeah, rip that UF for me.
Ooh, the kid to the bottom right that Z is calling out could actually be Youngstas. Now, immediately calling in that UAV to look for information, but all Destroy had to do was use his eyes, and just like that, Youngstas is down and out. See ya, FaZe Testy squad.
Yeah, it's a great comment by you, Tiff, too, that was going to be Youngstas, because the rat couldn't have gone far, was what they were thinking. So when it was called out, Destroy said, we know this is free. This is going to be a solo. This is going to be that third we were looking for. They're going to continue to push forward and continue to wipe some of these red dots on the mini-map. There goes a massive game for Z, D, and Raul. D was on 8 or 9. Raul's on 7. That's 16 between 2. If Z has any, they might have one of the biggest games of the day on their hands. The score to beat right now is 44 from Team Rated. A massive map.
Could see it. Love it. They cleared the skies, taking out that counter UAV, and they have just been on the hunt. We've got portable buy stations. We have armor boxes. We're kitted out on self-res. We are going into that end game in top tier position. Even Raul has that med vest, so if Z or Destroy go down, they can hit that quick res. And honestly, the passion is here, and I'm just so excited that the 150K Shattered Gauntlet kicks off day number 1 with this. Love it.
It's funny because it feels like we almost can't even swap off this POV because they're constantly in gunfights, and this is what I was talking about before. Like, you're expecting to see some teams play like this because they're that confident, but huge comms from Destroy calling his team back, taking the IGL role, that in-game leader role, and telling Zlaner, come back, let's play together, come back, pick up the kid at the top of this crane, come back, let's play together.
He's gonna jump. He's gonna jump.
He's eating that? What an idiot. Nice.
He's eating that. Bye, Joff. That's going to be a full team wipe as well, but kidding on over. Let's see what OP Marked is up to. Once again, also shooting out one of those mobile buy stations. Sin just grabs a team wipe onto Uncivil Queen. So that's going to be a see you later for your map 2 victors. And now into the top 7. We're inching ever so closer to that 1.7x multiplier once we get to the top 5. And just one more squad away.
Savvy Ultra's team somehow has stabilized after the catastrophic failure we saw from the trio earlier. They got pushed and they couldn't recover. We're out on resources, out on guns, but they have somehow stabilized back, all 3 alive. And Savvy has 7 kills because of it. Again, high risk, high reward. We're leaning towards that side of things. We're not playing consistent. We're playing for the high risk because it could be enough to push us into qualifying for the finals just off of a couple maps. High risk, high reward is the playstyle you're going to most likely see from most teams. And between Savvy Ultras and Zanks, I think they're at 10 already at least, which is well beyond the metric that has been set through the last couple games to be top 15. So looking really solid here, but going to continue to slow down just a hair now that we're into final circle. Looking for 5th, looking for top 5, and a couple knocks. This could be the signal flare that they need to go forward. Yes, Super Rev is going to push the equation. All 3 moving in. They're going to fly together, fly as a unit, flying V through the skies, and grab some elimination. That's Zlaner going down, Raul going down. Destroy, Zlaner, Raul out of this lobby, likely in 5th. We're inside the top 5, 4, now 3 teams left, Tiff. Everybody's got their multiplier. The question is who's going to win it.
It's so tough when we're seeing so many of these engagements throughout the first 3 maps opening up with a basic nade spam, right? Just trying to see, can we get it connected? Can we grab opening knocks? And that's exactly what Super Evan does to open the door. Now that they play, as soon as they go in for the thirst on Zlaner's squad, they start realizing they all have self-reses, so they have to push the equation as quickly as possible. Now they have that position in the top 3. That Zlaner could have potentially won the game came from. Yeah, they have to rotate just a little bit, but utilizing this heartbeat sensor to try and find where the teams are. In the meantime, the teams are on them. Super Evan just gets dumpstered on by Melvin, and now we've got an issue.
It's the one danger of the heartbeat sensor. If some teams have ghosts, they might not pop up, and because of that, they've lost a player. Trusting your information gathering tools doesn't always come out in your favor, but with 2 teams left, Savvy Ultras down below looking for a victory. What was almost a very tough map and one they were going to regret could be the makings of a win. Braxton going down on the other side, and with Super Evan gone, no questions asked. Savvy Ultra has won the 3rd map of the day. Savvy Ultra's team scoring 30 points, the 2nd highest score thus far. A massive map victory, likely punching their ticket to the finals in a couple weeks.
Gotta have that rehydration up, some caffeine in your system, especially when the start of this tournament was approximately 9 p.m. for a large majority of our players that are